Hey guys, welcome back to Golden Aesthetics. This is Artemis Dolgan. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for all your positive emails, for all your comments on my Instagram, my Facebook. I appreciate it, guys. This support and this motivation that comes from you keeps me going, inspires me to do more and do more for bodybuilding, and it opens up new horizons for me and what I want to do in the sport and how I want to impact the sport with you. We're working a really cool short film on old school bodybuilding and try to involve as many old school legends as we can because they're still around, and we're having an awesome interview with Robbie Robinson, Black Prince, one of the best physiques of all time, next week. So you're more than welcome to write me an email, or I'm gonna make a post on my Instagram where you can leave your questions that you want to ask, and I'll have my own questions as well. I'm sure Robbie was gonna share with us. He's gonna share with us an awesome knowledge and awesome experience how to build a perfect physique. I wanted to share with you my opinion today on genetics and bodybuilding, how important it is, where you can do genetics, how to train body parts if they are lacking that, genetic potential. Unfortunately, just like in any other sport or any other activity like singing or acting or dancing, having a talent to become a legendary athlete or an actor or a singer is the key. You gotta have the talent, you gotta have the genetics. We all have genetics, we all have a talent, but for different things. You just have to discover where it is. If you love bodybuilding and you want to do it for a living, and you want to inspire people and help them change their lives, you don't really have to have the genetics. You gotta have the drive, you gotta have the heart and the will to do that. But if you want to go on stage and compete in Olympia and to be one of the top athletes of the world in bodybuilding, you got to have the genetics and you got to have the talent for it. So all those guys that you look at on stage, they're all really hardworking. If you look at the Olympia, the nice caliber competition, all those guys are really hard workers and everything they have is on point. So something that sets apart, like aside there, is genetics, is how much talent you have. If you're doing it for yourself, if you want to be a perfect version of you, if you want to inspire others and just look great, feel great, be healthy, genetics is not the key, it's not a factor. You have to just work hard, put all your heart into the training. And I know a lot of people complain, or my legs are not growing and my biceps not growing. I was one of those guys. I was complaining and blaming genetics on things that actually were not genetics. They were just absence of knowledge on how to train that certain body part. Let's say your legs are lacking, and my legs were lacking all my life, and especially when I was competing in men's physique, I wasn't paying too much attention, and then I thought that they're not growing because I don't have the genetic potential. However, you just don't know. I didn't know how to train them. Legs is a very endurant body part. It even consists of different muscle fibers responsible for endurance, because you're always walking, you carry your body on your legs. So in order to make your legs grow and blow them up, you have to train them with more volume, more frequency, and more intensity. So train them twice a week, every 5 days, apply more sets. Start low on the low weight, with higher reps. Work yourself up to at least 8 reps. Then do drop sets, giant sets. You gotta have the pump. You gotta have that always desire to puke, and you have to push yourself when you're training legs all the way to the limit. It's really a test on how much you love bodybuilding, how much you love the sport. And when I can tell and judge guys that come to the gym, but not by the way they train their legs, because it requires a complete focus, a complete push from your will in order to train harder and take yourself through the deep waters. When I only started to train this way, drenched in sweat, completely zoned out, trying to finish my workout and staying in this just my own world, I've noticed that my progress became I could notice it a lot more and see the progress in my legs a lot faster, because before I was always hearing that, hey man, you're gonna overtrain, you gotta train them every 10 days. I mean, everybody has their own approach. I found my own, and it worked for me, and I'm sure it's gonna work for you. As I said, it's a very endurant body part, so you gotta train it with a lot more volume and a lot more frequency, and of course you gotta eat more, and I would consume more calories on the day you're training the weak body part. Let's say your arms are not growing. A lot of guys, they complain, oh, my biceps not growing, and this is for me was my biggest issue, is my arms, and I always was like self-conscious about it, because they were just not, my biceps is really short, and I have to deal and I have to work with what I already got. So I can definitely bring them up, and I was doing that very successfully lately, because I start do this feeding workouts every other day, just 3 sets of hammer curls, just to pump them up, push some blood in there after each workout. And I would also have a separate day where I train supersets on my triceps and my biceps with really a lot of volume, a lot of intensity. I make sure I eat a lot more red meat on that day, and I notice progress. So if you guys are not growing in certain body parts, you just don't train hard enough, you don't put enough thought to it, you don't put enough volume, enough intensity, and you just don't put enough hard work, because everything that you see in a physique is consistency and hard work. A lot of guys that don't have genetics but they have the heart and they have the will, they will go much further in the sport and even much further on stage, and gonna make, you know, still a better career out of themselves without having genetics, because they love bodybuilding, than those guys that have the talent, have the genetics. A lot of kids, I mean, this is a very important thing, because I see a lot of kids and a lot of, you know, older guys already trying to substitute the absence of that talent, especially in competitions, the absence of talent with steroids. They think that if they're gonna take steroids, they're gonna be bigger, faster, that they're going to grow, they're going to build a beautiful body. It's not the case. If you're not growing naturally, if you're putting 100% effort and 100% in training and 100% in dieting and recovering, and your supplementation is on point, and you're not growing by giving it all you got, you're not going to grow with steroids. Yes, you're going to add some size there, but you will have to always increase the dosages, and with increased dosages, you're ruining your physique, and the negative side effects come in. So I wouldn't go into that route, because I don't think it pays off, because in the end you end up hurting yourself, you end up looking like shit, and you actually can see on stage who's abusing more substances by the way they look, unfortunately. And I see that there is a lot of absence of talent in the sport, because the steroids became so widely available, so widely promoted, because a lot of guys that don't want to work hard and think that they don't have the genetics, they start taking steroids in order to grow and compete and compensate the hard work and determination and focus on everyday commitment to dieting and training. They try to substitute that with steroids. And as I said, in order to make a living out of this and to be a really prominent athlete, you have to win at least men's physique show naturally. And I'm not talking about even bodybuilding, because people that are gifted, like Ronnie Coleman, he wasn't using stuff for a long time, and he won and he won shows naturally. So all you have to do, guys, if you're not growing, if you see that you're not progressing and you're hitting the plateau, you have to work harder, you have to put more volume into it, more intensity, more thought. Always improvise with the angles, how you train, because as I said, we're all different, and we have different biomechanics, we have different attachments. Just like I do have a short biceps, so I will have a different angle that will fire that muscle the most. So you have to find the angle, the positioning that will make that muscle fire the most. Also, as is, take pictures every 2 weeks, you know, to see your progress, how you're progressing when you're working on that weak body part. If you're starting, let's say you come to the gym and, as I said, your biceps is not growing, start with the weak body part. If you're training your back and biceps together, so start with the biceps when it's fresh, and you will be able to put more blood into it, go a little heavier, a little harder, with more intensity, because you are fresh. And as I said, take pictures of that body part, you know, in a matter of 2 weeks, and see how you're progressing using that program or using that approach, and that will help you determine, you know, what works for you, and help you determine how your body works and how it operates and how it responds to certain nutrition and certain training. This is just my opinions on genetics, and I just had to share it with you, because I've seen a lot of guys blaming it, and I've seen a lot of guys, you know, abusing stuff, trying to substitute the talent and hard work and the genetics at the same time, and the heart with steroids, and I think it's a wrong thing to do. Also, another thing I want to tell you, if you really want to do bodybuilding, and if you really want to be successful, don't listen to anyone. Don't listen to whoever has to tell you, because I've been told I don't have the genetics, and my proportions were off, and I've been told it while being on stage, you know, but actually very influential people in sport, but I didn't listen, because this is what I wanted to do, and this is what I feel like doing. So I'd rather do what I love than take someone's opinion as I got in my life and change for them. This is my life, and I want to accomplish a lot. I feel like I have the power, and I have enough belief to leave the mark and leave my own legacy in this sport, and change it and put it in the right direction, where athletes actually are paid, where they're taken care of, because nobody cares about bodybuilders, nobody cares about their life and what struggle they go through, because I train in Gold's Gym, and I see a lot of pros there, and trust me, a lot of guys really struggle and hardly put ends together in order to compete and come on stage, and this is their passion. I feel like they should be actually rewarded for that. So I don't know how it's gonna happen. I don't know how this change is gonna go, but I feel like social media is so much more powerful than any federation in the world. That this social media actually takes this message to your local gyms, to your communities, because everybody's on the phone, everybody's on computer, and everybody learns from social media and reads from social media. So I feel like this platform that we're building here online with you guys, you know, with online training and our own store with the clothing line and promoting the old school and doing all these interviews and doing the short films, I feel like we're going to create this platform that's going to be very, very influential, even on stage. And I see more and more of you guys hitting the vacuum poses and posting your pictures on Instagram with the classic poses and artistic poses and talking about aesthetics and talking about beautiful art of bodybuilding. And I feel like this is it. This is where it's at, and we're going to keep pushing and we're going to keep promoting this beauty of this sport and the purity of this sport. And hopefully it's going to come back to the place where it started with Joe Weider, because I have a tremendous love and respect for that man and what he did for bodybuilding. And in a way, I feel responsible to do the same thing. So thank you again for joining my channel. Thank you again for being such an awesome fan, such an awesome friend to me. And I'm actually editing some training videos now, because I got to find a little bit more time to focus on filming and editing those videos, so there'll be a lot more helpful information on how I train, so you can try it, implement it, and achieve results at the gym and outside the gym. Thank you again for subscribing. My name is Artemis Dolgan. This is beautiful Venice Beach, and I'm going to show you how beautiful it is around right now.